Talking about some comic
books. Yeah, comic book dealing. Taking now the comic books to the streets. And everybody come. That was the worst Doobie Brothers song ever.
Scooby Dooby.
Scooby Dooby.
Hey,
Ruby
we're doing Defenders number 3
Oh.
because we've been doing that one first usually. Number 4, excuse me. Defenders number 4.
Number 4.
Stop it. But come on. What are you doing, Cohagen?
Come on.
By Al Ewing and
I want by Al Ewing and Javier Rodriguez, and I think we also got to talk about Dave Stewart, don't we?
Don't we?
Well, he's like the guy.
Nah, he's no Paul Acequita. We'll talk about him with Punisher.
No, it's just, I think Javier Rodriguez does his own covers, man, or his own colors.
Oh, okay.
Which makes it even more impressive.
Yeah. So it's interesting because I think once we're done with this, I do want to just focus on Punisher.
Mm-hmm.
And,
yeah, we can do that for a while.
Wrap that up.
We can do that for a while.
That's 12 issues.
Yep.
This is only 5.
But
this has been such an interesting juxtaposition with these two books, whereas like this book is very colorful and bright and gorgeous
and fanciful.
And that one,
if you will.
And then the Jason Aaron Punisher run is more gritty and gory and violent and grotesque.
And ground level,
but also amazing art.
Both are blessed with great writing and great art.
Also, both are completely different tonally, and a great juxtaposition.
You said tonally with an N, not totally.
Yes, tonally.
For those of you like me, who for a second were like, "Did you just say totally?"
Because it's still this like psychedelic space opera, science magic,
science Cohagen
mixture concoction. So this
Why?
is chapter.
Why?
This is issue 4, the fourth Cosmos. They keep going back in time. This is the Lovers. So where we ended up with the last issue, they were saved. They chased Zoda out of the fifth Cosmos,
and Harpy was the last.
Because she let out she took Strange's uncontrollable magic and launched it in this big giant beam and killed Moradun. And then they fell to the fourth Cosmos, and she's back to looking like Betty. And then we see Hulk, but it's 4 faces.
The third was from Harpy's point of view, and this one is from Cloud's point of view.
Well, I was explaining.
That's what I was saying.
The story, but
well, that's what I was saying.
Yes.
This
one's from Cloud's point of view. That again, continuing the theme. And I'm going to assume it's the same in the next one, but we see Cloud upside down like we've seen every character's point of view from each.
If you notice also, if you go back to the first issue, every one of the cards that he pulls is the whatever reversed.
Yeah.
Which is in tarot, the card upside down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
the cups reversed.
So Cloud kind of explains that their main power is really love. And they're a character that was made out of love of 2 lovers, and that explains why they have a female appearance and a male appearance. And
so they're
also used as like, well, all these
Cloud
languages.
Is a singularity, which is basically a black hole, or a sun. I can't remember which one.
A black hole sun?
Where?
Black hole sun, where'd you come?
Okay. So I thought we were going to do the whole thing.
Yeah, I had to stop.
I thought we were going to do like our mouths were going to get big and then our eyes were going to get big, all freaky like and shit, freaky deaky. You know what I mean? Like we say in the 90s, freaky deaky.
That's back when they had music videos
That's
on MTV.
When they had music videos.
What's cable?
But they came to Earth, or this entity came to Earth, and the first thing that they do kind of explain it in here better. But the first thing that they encounter, the first feeling or whatever, is these 2 teenagers making out on a country road. And so they say, okay, that sounds good to us. Or whatever it is. And that becomes them. And they,
a female and a male.
They become each other, whatever. And so, yeah, Cloud is an interesting character because this is the first real book that I've ever read with the character in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they use
that Eminem ad is pretty fucking dope.
I know, right? They use Cloud in an interesting way, like you're saying, is like you would think with it being this black hole or this dying star or whatever exactly they are.
It's a cosmic entity, basically, is all you need to know.
You wouldn't think like it would have
bonded with these two kids.
You wouldn't think it'd have this like this the power being about feel and understand. So they understand and they start to understand the four-headed Hulk.
It's a cosmos but it's a cosmic being in its infancy, so it's still learning.
Yeah.
But the way they filter their
this whole thing is like, again, the art is just bananas. Yeah. Like, what am I even looking at? You know, because you see that Strange is using the eye of Agamotto, and like I've never seen. Again, I've not read a lot of Doctor Strange books, I'll be honest, but I've never seen it portrayed like this, and it's really cool.
Yeah,
and how it it just, again, the way that it moves on the page, and like that's something I really love about the story, and what I love about the art, and why this whole series I think they've complemented each other. Is like this book has a great way of not wasting any real estate on the page. Like everything, like every piece of white space is filled. Like it's crazy.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I like about the art, Javier Rodriguez's art, is back in the day there were some artists who would draw, pretty heavy lines in a panel to show movement or to show something, being thrown. And to be honest, you can do that without lines if you're a good enough artist. But here's my thing about it, is that I kind of like that old school. And whenever you saw like the Masked Raider and the thing that is, or whatever the Galactus archetype at the end is, fighting, there's very heavy like lines, like showing like forceful,
these big scale.
Let me
they look like kaiju.
Right. Yes, exactly. But where is one where it's just crap?
I just had it open, you bastard.
No, it's not but you show like these, like the Wham, like that.
Yeah.
And then him getting big and getting knocked out, and it's just very, very heavy stuff. It's very heavy stuff, you see. And the art is just really, really cool. But the thing that really turned me on about this issue when I first read it was the way that they called the Hulk.
Oh yeah.
The 1 is 4.
Yeah.
But then what came out after that is this it's basically, and if you could describe it for us, because it's cool, it's basically 2 humans and 2 elements.
No, that's ridiculous. It's a silly thing. I'm trying to find the page.
It's
yeah. So it turns into this like weird.
But I believe it's So it's Invisible Woman, Human Torch.
Okay.
Mr. Fantastic, and then Thing.
Yeah.
So
like
the 4 is 1.
Yeah.
But the 1 is 4 and the 4 is 1. That's their name.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool as fuck.
And then it kind of just starts to portray the Marvel universe.
Yes.
The characters that we know, but they look different. Like,
they're called archetypes.
The archetypes. And then we get, again, this series being meta and weird and being like, oh, these fights happen all the time. A tin man or a man of metal will fight this colorful, patriotic looking guy.
And there's a dude with horns and a blindfold.
And a dude with a fucking Wookiee with no eyes and blades coming out of their hands.
And a dude and a thing with fire with a lightning cloud head and a hammer.
A clear devil that looks like a female daredevil, and it's just. Oh, and then the cool reveal of it being Zoda is that they see Dr. Doom wandering without a mask.
Where's
my face? My face?
See, that's what I love. Like when you were saying last week that this, when you said it, because I've thought about it, this would make a fucking amazing animated series.
Imagine this is an animated
amazing.
series.
It would be amazing, dude.
Just like
amazing.
Just do it issue by issue, and
I don't care if you adapt it fucking word for word. I don't give a shit.
You could believably make this into an anime.
No, I'm saying like a lot of adaptations want to be like, I want to do it my own way.
It.
Fuck you. Draw it and
Tyler.
What?
Do what DC does. They have done it where they've taken 5 issues. They've taken much longer arcs, and found ways to adapt it into a movie. You could make this into
the DC adaptations are faithful adaptations of the comic book stories. Yes,
you could make this a fucking amazing animated series, or animated movie. You know, I would love to see it. But yeah, so then we get an explanation of what the Masked Raider, the Eternity Mask, and what that does and what the power gives him. So we find out that it makes him the size of this Galactus construct.
It gives you the power of the thing you're fighting.
Doesn't let you beat it.
Right. It gives you an equal chance of winning or losing.
You have to still use skill, yeah.
if you're about to fight a kaiju, you become a kaiju. You know what I mean? Yeah. Or if you're, you know what I mean, you become that.
Yeah.
You have that chance. And next issue we'll see even more
of how
Captain
that works. America,
we'll see even more of how that works.
You have Captain America's abilities.
No, you're
durable enough that you could fight him.
Whatever you would need.
He wouldn't punch your
whatever
face
you would
into
need
oblivion.
to be able to survive a fight with Captain America or Wolverine or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how that works.
But anyway, like you're talking about the POW and like the stars that are around him, like just
there's very old school 50s style to Rodriguez's artistry. And
dude, it's like an acid trip.
Where does it say where's the part where it's on a face where only Mama Zoda could love?
Yeah.
I fucking love Taia, dude. I fucking love her as a character. She is so all the quotes, the way she talks, I can only hear her saying there's your mask, Mr. Magic, on a face only Mama Zoda could love. And look what shoulder he's playing parrot on. I don't know. That sounded stupid.
But it sounded cool.
It sounded cool. Looked cool. It sounded stupid.
So then Cloud...
But I just like her as a character.
So Cloud becomes another... has another... I don't even know how to describe it.
So did you ever... Okay, so Star Trek 4, real quick. Star Trek 4... they have to find the whales, right, to communicate with the probe, or else the Earth's going to get destroyed. And he says, Spock's like, we have to find these whales. He's like, where do they exist anywhere else? Like, no, just on Earth in the past. And he's like, well, can we respond using, the sounds? And Spock's like, we could respond, but we would be the words, but not the language. We would be responding in gibberish. And at the beginning of this issue, they ask Cloud to try to communicate with the 1 is 4. The Hulk
it's just there's no words. It's just highlighted.
She tries with a green marker basically, and he comes back with a black marker, like "fuck you."
Yeah.
And that's when the 4 is 1 comes out and puts him in a invisible bubble to protect them.
And then they.
But it's a very comparable thing where they're like, "Hey, can you talk to it?" And she's like, Cloud is like, "Sure, I can try, but I'm probably not." And inside, she's like, "I don't know what I'm saying." They don't ever refer to...
They say they in the last issue.
Do they?
They said, we prefer they.
Clearly, at the end of the issue, they go from 2... as far as I remember in the comics, and in the first couple of issues of this series, they can be the teenage boy or the teenage girl at any given time.
Yeah.
But
there's this third entity.
But it looks like at the end... that a third non-binary entity kind of comes out of the center. Yeah, I know.
Who fucking cares? But then we get
Al Ewing clearly has what I really truly do believe that Al Ewing has a great way of reflecting back what society is giving him. And with Gamma Flight and Immortal Hulk and this series, especially this issue, it's clear that he is... It's clear that he is showing the world. I don't know. I don't want to put words into Al Ewing's mouth, but I do know that he's very good at representing the plight or representing what somebody who is transgender might go through or might be going through or how, I don't know. It's definitely representation whether he wants it or not. Cuz I can't say. You know what I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming the way he writes with such compassion about it,
Yeah.
I would assume that he is for it. Like
Yeah.
he's
Well,
not transphobic.
And what I think is cool about it, so we have the three entities of Cloud, and then they're all talking, but each time they talk, it's color coded, and that's so cool because that's a running theme throughout the book. And then you see like the big moment that what is so good about this being a silly, like I love it because it's this again psychedelic meta weird roller coaster, because how this is resolved is Cloud says, I'm telling a change that's no illusion, a growth that never dies back, a future can you hear? I hear it. So the Captain America archetype is talking to the Iron Man archetype, and it's love. Love is talking to them. No more fighting each other. Now fight for each other. And we're seeing like, oh, this is the moment of the big crossover comic where all the heroes stop fighting each other and then they fight a bigger threat because it's a team up book, And like, again, I love that like meta commentary on it, and also making sense in this story of like, oh, of course. And then it goes even further in the meta where they pull you out of the panels of the friggin' book at the end of this issue. So you're seeing this other multicolored faced entity, and you literally get a half-page splash of the characters walking out of the panel of the book that you were reading. And that's what I love about comic books, because I think it could work in TV or movies in like another medium, but it just works so bizarrely well in a comic book.
This is
you know what I mean?
Yeah, this is what so based on the series, what I'm gathering that Al is talking about, or what he envisions as the different cosmoses, whatever. Cosmosy, I don't know. Cosmoses. Cosmoses, and you and me and a couple of Sundays driving up to the cabin in the mountains. All right, so
how do you go on? Continue. What am I gonna say to add to that?
What I'm envisioning is that each one is like a previous period of storytelling, maybe seemingly specifically to the Marvel Universe, but kind of like, I'm not sure exactly how to describe it, but clearly the ideas, maybe, I don't want to say like the 1960s or 1950s or whatever. I don't want to say that, or, eras or anything. I want to say like before the ideas were concrete, because the final stage, the final cosmos that they're getting to is, I think, it's got to be the third cosmos now.
Yeah, because they were just in the fourth.
Yeah. So the third cosmos is the very basis of all stories completely, and their universe,
and
which is
the man with the multiverse.
It's a gigantic fucking dude, who's basically a Captain America, Thor, Iron Man, whatever, the hero, the archetypal hero, fighting the archetypal dragon. And that is what they're watching.
Fang Foom?
No, just whatever. They're watching the very first, the very epic, the very essence of every battle, which is good versus evil, embodied.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. I really can't wait to read the final issue.
Super exciting.
And figure, because I'm really interested in the Masked Raider, because I had known nothing about that character.
But think about, okay, so the Marvel Universe as whatever cosmos, because we keep hearing eighth, but we know it's whatever. Current Marvel Universe is whatever. They go back one, it's Galactus when he was a baby, so his, whatever, and it's all science. They go back another one, it's all magic. They go back another one, it's all
feelings.
Just feelings.
And archetypes.
Yes, and the ideas are starting to bubble up as, embodiments, like here's an Iron Man and here's a Captain America, whatever. Then they go back another one, and it's completely just basic. Here's a fucking good guy. Here's a fucking bad guy. They're fighting. That's it. There's nothing else in this cosmos. That's all that's happening here, forever in this cosmos until it ends or goes in whatever.
They gotta get this Zoda guy.
I just think it's interesting, and in Defenders Beyond, they go beyond that.
You don't say.
Way to go, Tyler. Off panel, off topic with Jake and Tyler.